Today I want to talk about what it means to be presidential, just discuss what that means to us and whether it matters. Uh, we haven't had that talk in a while. I remember my grandmother once said she would never vote for Richard Nixon, not because of his politics, but because she once saw him wipe his nose with his jacket sleeve, and that was uh, that was in poor taste. It was bad manners. Um, some of you may remember Howard Dean, a very promising Democratic candidate, whose campaign was going really well until he yelled out loudly in joy. He gave a big shriek during one of his rallies, and that was the end of Howard Dean because it just didn't seem presidential. We've had lots of talks, throughout prior to Trump, about what we consider to be presidential, and to me, uh, it's a lot of different qualities. Strength, I want a person of personal strength and personal ethics. That's important to me. Um, I certainly think it's presidential to have some expertise about how government works. You would expect your president to be an expert on the Constitution, the laws, the protocols, and just chain of command and all of that. Um, I think it's presidential to have a natural uh, concern for others, uh, empathy, compassion, to hurt when the citizens hurt, to care about what happens to people. Um, and there's a certain when I say class or elegance, I don't mean like snooty, champagne and cufflinks kind of class and elegance. I mean dignity, like a certain. I want a president that holds him or herself with a certain kind of a class, a dignity, and yeah, diplomacy is important. To be a problem solver between factions, uh, to be able to speak kindly and fairly, even with those that he or she disagrees with. Um, Diplomacy, I think, is important. Yeah, I wrote them down. Um, and I think just leadership. You want somebody who you feel can lead us. Now, as promised, it's inevitable that I have to share with you some of my concerns about Donald Trump. We've seen some things. Now, I'm not talking about policies right now. We're just talking about being presidential today. We've seen things I thought I'd never see. I never thought I'd see a candidate for president telling people at rallies to punch somebody else, uh, saying punch him in the face. They used to take them out on a stretcher. And missing those days. Um, this whole thing about making up nicknames for people, Little Marco and Sleepy Joe and Crooked Hillary and all this stuff. A nickname doesn't offer any evidence. It's just kind of bullyish, and look, maybe you like this. Maybe you consider this presidential. That's that's entirely up to you. But I never thought I'd see that, and I've never seen. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. I've never seen a president use profanity deliberately and publicly in speeches on the stump. Use profanity. Now I use profanity all the time. I'm not a prude, but as a public speaker and representative of an entire nation, I don't think that's very presidential. I really don't. And those are things I never thought I would see. Um, so, does it matter? Obviously, I think it does. I believe that the president sets the tone for our discourse, sets the tone for how we conduct ourselves, and um, ideally helps us aspire to be better people than we are. And also, the president is the face of the nation to the rest of the world. It's just something to consider. Even if you're a Trump voter and that's your choice, I want you to think ahead to the future, post-Trump, and what kind of president you'd want to elect next. And I think maybe you will land on some of the same qualities that I have. And I don't think having a president who's been profane and rude and insulting to people and unfaithful to his wife is a proper presidential behavior. And by the way, I love Bill Clinton. I thought Bill Clinton was a great president. It doesn't mean that I defend the fact that he was caught cheating on his wife and lied under oath. Not presidential. And here's the thing. If you say, well, everybody lies and, lots of people cheat and, people are not everybody is nice and all this stuff. Yeah, I think we should hold the president to a higher bar, to a higher standard. I want my kids to be able to look to the president of the United States and say, there goes a great man. There goes a great woman. There goes a person of character and class and expertise and leadership and compassion. And that makes me want to be better. Isn't that what you want? I mean, don't we want that? Don't we want that? I think it matters. I think it matters. And maybe presidential is the wrong, maybe it's the wrong word for it, but I think certainly respectable and admirable. Look, if you've given up on that, I think that's being too cynical. It's not that it's not that anybody's perfect, and I know that there are lots of people who hide. At least hide it. At least hide your dishonesty if you're going to be president. That's what they used to have to do, is at least hide their wrongdoing, hide their poorer qualities, and represent to the world a certain level, a certain bar. I don't think we lower the bar to fit the candidates, lower the bar to fit the people in the office. I think we keep the bar up where it is, and keep looking for the people who meet those standards. And it's not just a matter of president; it's a matter of other elected offices as well. Let's hold ourselves to those old-fashioned standards and see if we can make better choices next time. Yeah, that's my thought. Obviously, my bias. But here's the thing. These are thoughts for your private brain. No, we're not going to debate about it. We don't have to. You don't have. If you feel differently, that's fine. But I'm going to start to ask you, Trump supporters, in your private thoughts, whether you like the experience of being represented by this kind of person. Does his behavior make you cringe? Or does it fill you with patriotic pride and make you feel that we have somebody who's representing what America's all about? It's a consideration. That's all. And I'm going to leave it there. This one, I expect I may get some pushback, but you don't have to. You can just go away and think about this stuff and see if any of what I'm saying makes sense. I really mourn the loss of having real admiration for the person in the Oval Office. That's me. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.